Hi, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. Well, we're here now looking at a particular subject which comes up because we've had a lot of visitors to our little life in the hills. They haven't all stayed at our guest house, but they have enjoyed time that they've spent coming around looking at some of the projects face on. Actually, what is it, up close and personal. And it made me think, with the latest of our visitors, which has been Mitch, I wondered about it. I wonder if there was a movie. If there was a movie and I was the casting director, what would I have said about all of our visitors? Well, we've had Mitch, we've had Johnny Peanut. What, Johnny Peanut? It's not really his name, by the way. Johnny Peanut. We've had Daryl. We've had Oni. We've had Martin. We've had Brian, and they're all different. They're all different men. They're all men with a plan. They're all men with great intentions, and we had contact with them before they ever came out here, so they didn't really come out as strangers. So I thought about the movie. Let's place this movie in the circus. So who do we have as the ringmaster? It has to be Mitch, doesn't it? Mitch, the ringmaster. He leads from the front. If I lead at all, it's from behind. I kind of just say yes, well, yes, and I agree to what I think will be a good idea, and veto those things that I don't think, and I think I possibly lead from behind. Mitch is the ringmaster, and I can imagine him in his red jacket and his shiny knee-length black boots. I can imagine him with a whip. That's how I seem to remember them in the American movies for circuses. So he would be out there. Of course, he would have his great big mustache, which would come here like this and curl around, and he would keep everybody in check, tell everybody what to do, where they should be, what they should be doing, and he would also instruct the audience. He would be in charge. Now, who else have we got? Well, I've taken it that the next one for casting would have to be Johnny Peanut. Now, what would Johnny Peanut be? Well, Johnny Peanut came and we had great conversations. We talked about things back and forth, equal good conversations, one where you actually learn something and where maybe you get to give something as well. And I put him in the movie as the problem solver. He's the MacGyver. He's the one who makes things happen in the company. When something seems to be going wrong, he'll be the one that will quietly sit there and actually work out what can be done. And we had a good example of this when I was reversing our new truck at the top of the hill, and he was sitting in the porch, and then he said, you know, I can see the axles spinning, but I don't see the wheels spinning. Bang. Problem solved. We didn't have the axles, we didn't have the hubs of the 4x4 drive locked in. Locked them in straight away, 100%, 100% improvement. See, the problem solver, that's what Johnny Peanut would be.
How about, what's the next, Stephen?
How about Stephen? Well, Stephen, I haven't actually worked out what Stephen would be. Stephen would be, well, let me see. When I worked in the circus, there was one particular act where the man had very tall, 6 foot he had, let me see, they were maybe 5.5 feet long, flexible pieces of steel, flexible rods, and on top of these he actually spun plates, and somehow he managed to keep all of those plates going, and there were about 12 or 15, and he would rush back and forth along this line with all of these plates, and he would keep everything going. But he was a master of suspense, because when everybody thought that that plate right on the end, which he seemed to be ignoring or unaware of, was starting to wobble, and it was wobbling back and forth and back and bom, 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 like this, he would rush up and just at the last second he would just spin it around perfect. So he would be the one who knew how to build suspense. That would be Stephen from Hong Kong. And now I'm going to ask my wife to allow me to finish this video.
How about Daryl?
Honey, can you come here, please? Excuse me. Now, can you hear that I'm doing a video?
I'm helping you to
now,
give the name.
Can you see that I've written something out on a paper? Can you imagine for a moment that rather than bumbling along, not knowing what the hell I'm doing, I've actually organized something.
Oh, my name is here, Beth.
No, your name is not there. You're not in the movie.
No,
okay?
Beth Princess. Oh, Princess?
No,
Thank you,
if I'm going to write anything at all, it will be Beth the Interrupter.
If my name was there as cast of the movie, cast of the circus, I would be the ice cream.
You would be the ice cream.
Yeah, because people
honey,
go to the circus, they need to go to the ice cream, right?
So everybody, no, I can't say that, can I? Can you see what I'm up against here? The next is Daryl. Well, Daryl would have to be the, let me see, in one of the Greatest Show on Earth, the movie, I think it was called The Greatest Show on Earth. And there was one actor there, and he never took off his makeup. He was enigmatic, he was a mystery. And he was also a scholar. He was very, very well educated and something of a mentor for lots of people, full of heart, recommending books, recommending things, ways in which people could get over personal problems. Well, Daryl came forward on this and loaned me a book which had a huge effect on my life. So I had Daryl down as the scholar.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. I'm here back. Thanks, Daryl, for that book. Because I just noticed once we got a small argument of Terence, and she reads that book, she said, sorry. Thank you, Daryl.
Behind every man is a woman interrupting his videos.
I know.
Anyway, that was Daryl. So, Oni. Now, Oni was strict. He was like a strong man. But he was very generous heart. He was kind of like the hard shell and the soft centre. He refused to take any acknowledgement. When anybody tried to thank him and say, thank you, Sir Oni, for what you have done, and he did great things. He was the one that cleared shelves when we went to Alturas, to the store. He was the one that said, if we're going to look at your work, which he wanted to do, and wanted to look at the projects that we'd done. He'd seen some of our videos, and he'd seen some of the projects that we offered to take him to look at himself. He said, well, we need to take something with us. And this has been echoed all along, actually, by everybody that has come to see us, all of our incredible quality visitors. Oni came and he cleared shelves. When he said, "What shall we get?" I said, "Well, let's go to the store and you can decide." And when we got there, he said, "So, what do you suggest?" I said, "Well, coffee would be a good thing." And I went over and I took some sachets of coffee and put them in the thing. He said, "No, no, very small thinking there, Mr. Terence." And he cleared a shelf, and he put, not only that, but we took 2 shopping carts round, and because it was for 2 families, everything that went in one cart went into another. And so Oni was what I call the foreman, because he wouldn't take any crap. He wouldn't take any suggestions on how things should be done. He was the foreman. He was the one in charge. I think when they had these great ranches out in early America, he would be called the ramrod, and what he said went. Strict guy, but honest and true, and with a real soft center. So that was Oni. The next was Martin. Well, Martin came, and I think he had broken out of a life that he really wanted to change from. He'd been watching our videos, and he really wanted to come and see for himself. I don't think that he had the finances to go around clearing shelves, but he came and he worked. And so, a little bit like Daryl, who also was a hand-on guy, Martin was a worker. He was someone who looked at and saw solutions. He came, all of these guys, all of these visitors, all had the same quality about them, that they came and saw ways in which they could contribute. And Martin was a real worker, and you saw him helping with bags of cement and a lot of other stuff like that. He was a real worker. So he would be the tough, hands-on guy that when they needed something put up, he would be there. Scottish. The Scots are known for being tough. He was a mechanic in a workforce that was devoted to keeping the police on the road, and he knew everything about cars. So he came and offered his expertise in that way. And the next one, this is the last one that I have on, but of course he's not the last one that we would talk about if we were doing a complete list. But this is Brian, and Brian is the big tough American who came over. He had run a fleet of ice cream trucks, and is now, at the present time, is now actually winding that business up in some way, or handing it over, or is handling what needs to be done on that business so that he can come back and enjoy the house that his wife is overseeing. His wife, Marisol, came, and she is now living in a tiny little house right next to where the new house is being built. Well, Brian, I have him down as, if there's somebody in a circus, remember how Hollywood managed to put these things together, and they'd have this circus as a family, and Brian would be the kind heart. He would be the one that people went to when they really needed a shoulder to cry on. He would be the understanding guy. That's how I see him, and I think that he's a hands-on guy with some real, a little bit in many ways like Mitch, only is softer spoken and not so out the front on a performance. He's more of that there are things to be done and he knows how to do it, and that's what he'll be doing. He will be setting up a small holding, 3.1 or 3.5 acres, or hectares I should say, where he'll be doing pigs and chickens, a little bit like Oni, but not in quite such a huge scale. Oni has, I think, a lot more land. He has land which is more conducive to using the land for that kind of business of having, I don't know, possibly thousands, let's say hundreds of pigs that he will be handling.
It's Mitch, not Oni. It's Mitch.
Honey, I'm talking, didn't I say Mitch?
Yeah, you said Oni.
I said Oni. There's my conscience at the back again. So Mitch, same plan as Mitch, just different kind of land, different kind of property, but as committed to their plan of action when they get here of earning a living and contributing to the community. So that's our little movie. We haven't fully got everybody in their parts, and we haven't had a rehearsal yet either, but that's all we have time for. And so thanks for looking in. The movie won't be coming out anytime soon. You'll have to imagine that. This is A Foreigner in the Philippines. Thanks for looking in. Bye for now.